Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Tonight is the June 25th, 2026 Town Board meeting. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do have one presentation before we get going here. Nathaniel? Nathaniel Isley. We have this whole crowd here for you tonight. On behalf of the town board, we have a proclamation, which I will read. Whereas Nathaniel Isley has displayed the academic excellence necessary to be declared a salutatorian. And whereas in addition to achieving distinguished grades, Nathaniel has demonstrated many admirable qualities such as integrity, hard work, determination, and a commitment to excellence throughout his 4 years in high school. Nathaniel has many other achievements of note, such as he is the president of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. He is an active member of 4 music groups at John Jay High School. He plays trombone and has been selected for All-State 3 times, NYSBDA twice. Besides that, Nathaniel is an active member of the math team and science Olympiad. Through this, he has attended and placed in many competitions at local, regional, and state levels. Nathaniel is also a proud member of the Math and Spanish Honor Societies. Outside of school, he has played on a travel soccer team for Wappinger Falls since elementary school, and his favorite pastimes include hiking, skiing, biking, and spending time outdoors. And whereas Nathaniel is honored at his high school graduation ceremony, but because his achievement is so significant and worthy of commendation, the town of East Fishkill wishes to recognize him as well. The town of East Fishkill Town Board is happy and proud to recognize Mr. Nathaniel Isley, the 2026 John Jay Senior High School salutatorian, and commends him for all of his impressive accomplishments. Therefore, be it proclaimed that this certificate shall be presented to Nathaniel and wish him the best in his next chapter of education at the University of Connecticut this fall. Congratulations. It will be playing so you can hear. If anybody wishes to speak, please sign in on the sheets in front of you there, one for residents, one for non-residents. And we will get going. Okay, so that was nice. Congratulations to Nathaniel and his family. I do have some announcements before we begin. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's healthy. I began the month attending the Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association meeting. It was hosted this month in the city of Beacon. The association, we rotate our monthly meetings throughout the county. This way, we get to learn about each community as we visit them. This month, our guest speakers was the Dutchess County Sheriff, Kirk Imparati, and the Dutchess County District Attorney, Anthony Parisi. They presented on their joint initiative called ARTIC, which is the Analysis and Real-Time Crime Intelligence Center. ARTIC, it's a collaborative public safety initiative involving Dutchess County Sheriff's Office and the District Attorney, the County Executive Office, and many different participating law enforcement partners. The program, they use intelligence, analytics, advanced technology to enhance their crime prevention. Also, they are amongst the county working with all our local departments as well. The Sheriff's Office and the DA, They are official partners on this program. This crime center has been backed by state and federal grants, which is wonderful. And they gave a great participation. They gave a great presentation, very productive discussion we had afterwards with all the elected mayors and supervisors in the county. And I always say Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association is a great organization. We collaborate together monthly, and it's wonderful. So thank you to them. I also participate in Central Hudson's annual municipal storm preparedness exercise. They conduct this virtually every year. Central Hudson, they regularly engage with municipal leaders before and during significant storm events, during emergencies as well. It usually includes all the local elected officials, county executive, state officials as well. And the exercise helps to ensure the communication is established during these times of need. All the stakeholders are there as well. So thank you to Central Hudson for always doing that. They do a great job at it. I was honored to attend Town of Fishkill's America 250 celebration, which was held at Dutchess Stadium. Thank you to Supervisor Ozzie Albra from Town of Fishkill, organized a wonderful event. He invited a number of elected officials, community leaders to participate. He had the Dutchess County Sheriff, the District Attorney, county legislators, judges, local historians, and he invited us supervisors from Fishkill, Wappinger, East Fishkill, and the city of Beacon. And the focus was to discuss the history and significance of the Rombout Patent, which was a large colonial grant granted in 1685, and that encompasses much of southern Dutchess County today, which incorporates Fishkill, East Fishkill, Wappinger, and Beacon. So each of us had a chance to have the opportunity to discuss our unique history of our towns in the city and how the Rombout Patent helped shape our development and growth through the centuries. They had great performances. They had all the local high school bands there as well. And it was just a wonderful event. So thank you to Supervisor Albert for having that. I also attended the Flag Day Run Walk, which was held at the Hopewell Depot at the head of the Dutchess County Rail Trail. This event is organized by our American Legion Manny Bacon Post and our local East Fishkill Rotary. Great event as well, very well attended. Thank you to all who came out. If anybody here attended, thank you for coming. Great day of, just patriotism and healthy living, and they earned good money too for some charities, so thank you to all. In addition, I attended our annual Flag Day ceremony, which we hold here every year. Right in the back, we have our flag retirement and burning pit. Very meaningful ceremony, also hosted by our American Legion Manny Bacon Post. And those members do a tremendous amount for our community. They dedicate and honor our flag that day, our veterans, and all the values that represents. And Flag Day, it's a very important reminder to us all, for all the people that sacrificed, all the generations of Americans that made sacrifices to defend our freedoms here in our country. And we're fortunate to have organizations like Manny Bacon Post and the Scouts of America. They did a wonderful job. Thank you to all of them for attending as well. Councilman Arco and myself and our rec director Christine Selbach and our grants director Mike O'Brien, we met with representatives from the National Fitness Campaign to discuss many different grant opportunities that are coming to enhance our different physical fitness and recreational opportunities throughout East Fishkill. The National Fitness representative, she was extremely knowledgeable. Thank you to her. She provided several different ideas that we could potentially incorporate into our parks, mainly along the Dutchess County Rail Trail and other locations as well throughout the town, but mainly in that area. And we're going to continue to evaluate these opportunities and look at the different long-term maintenance and operational costs after the grant funding, if we do are approved for it, is utilized to determine what makes the most sense for our residents. So we will keep you posted on that, but thank you to Councilman Arco and the National Fitness Campaign. Dutchess County Jewish Federation Annual Gala at the Grandview in Poughkeepsie was held this month. As always, wonderful event, very, very well attended. The Federation, they're a great organization as well. They make tremendous impact throughout Dutchess County through all their charitable work, their educational programs, the community outreach. They promote understanding, inclusion, and support for those in need. And their leadership and commitment to our community does not go unnoticed. So thank you to them for their continued service and dedication to our community. Additionally, we met with our rec director again, Christine Selbach, and our town historian, Rick Sodler, to continue planning for our East Fishkill America 250 celebration. This will take place on Saturday, July 11th, right at 12 o'clock noon, right here at our Hopewell Recreation Complex, right here in the Hamlet. They have a full day of activities planned, including performance by the Young Colonials Fife and Drum Corps, which will bring the sounds of the American Revolution to life. The 4th New York Artillery, they will demonstrate and load and firing of an authentic Revolutionary War cannon. The 2nd New York Provincial's Continental Line Regiment will conduct military drills, interact with the public, and they'll showcase the daily life of a colonial soldier. In addition, there'll be historical demonstrations, educational exhibits, food trucks, family events. We have live entertainment. We have a concert at the end of the night, followed by a huge fireworks show to end the evening. So if you can, please, this is a wonderful opportunity to come out and celebrate our nation's history, honor all those who sacrificed our independence, and come together as we celebrate America 250. It'll be a great night for the kids too, so bring all the kids if you can. I also attended the quarterly meeting of the Dutchess County.
Speaker, is it possible that you could have tabled this as part of the agenda? There are so many people here who are...
I'm sorry, I can't. This is part of our regular town board meeting.
There are procedures, but there
Thank you, sir.
Community here who would like to have that matter directly addressed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your comment. I also attended the quarterly meeting of the Dutchess County Economic Development Advisory Council. Shall we not commence with the meeting? If you do not like to participate in the meeting, you can leave the meeting. Nobody's holding you here. But this is the line that we go through.
You're wasting our valuable time on the issue that has really brought all of these people here.
I'm sorry, but I have,
conducting a meeting?
sir, I have resident.
Which I understand.
Sir, excuse me, sir. If you keep interrupting the meeting, you can leave. Please don't interrupt the meeting. There's people at home watching this every month. Thank you very much. I also attended our quarterly meeting of the Dutchess County Economic Development Advisory Council, which is EDAC. I currently serve as a member to that council. I have the privilege of chairing the local government committee. EDAC is a very valuable organization. It comprises of many different business leaders, nonprofit executives, educators, workforce development professionals, municipal leaders from throughout the county. And this committee works closely with county leadership to review all the economic development initiatives, identify different growth opportunities for towns, and we provide recommendations on policies and programs to the county executive. As part of this meeting, several chairs of different committees were there to give updates. The president and CEO of Dutchess Tourism discussed how tourism affects our county, updates on our residential and commercial real estate markets, how housing availability and development trends help affect our economy in our county. Agricultural committee, they discussed the Navigator program, which is very important, especially to a town like ours. We have multiple agricultural sites in our town, and also discussions on education and workforce development. During the local government part of the meeting, I advocated for a creation of a county level position dedicated to assisting all municipalities in Dutchess County, particularly our smaller towns and villages, with grant administration and project coordination. A lot of communities, they get approved for these grants, they secured this grant funding, but managing those grants is extremely challenging. State and federal grants come along with many extensive reporting, compliance, procurement, reimbursement requirements, and if you don't meet those requirements, it can delay or it jeopardizes your funding. So in In addition to when a significant development also comes that are proposed municipalities, they're often faced with different reviews, agency coordinations, infrastructure considerations. So larger towns like ours, we have planning, engineering, and administrative staff to help us, assist us with those. But the smaller municipalities do not. So a county representative serving as a liaison and technical resource could really be a huge help to these smaller communities. So I proposed that to the EDAC. We're waiting to hear back. It was widely liked by the EDAC board, so we'll see how that will play out in the future, and I'll let the residents know how that goes. And with that, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Yes, Councilperson Franco.
Present.
Councilperson Marinaro.
Present.
Councilperson Arco.
Present.
Councilperson Flores.
Present.
And Supervisor D'Alessandro.
Present, thank you. We will do two resolutions first. First resolution, Councilman Arco, would you read?
Sure, Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the hiring of Ryan Fells as a police officer with a start date of August 24th, 2026, with a salary in accordance with the PBA contract.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Chief, Mr. Fells has been with us a while, correct?
He's been with us a while. We're very proud to announce that Officer Fells is, well, joining our ranks. He has been, he's a Fishkill cadet program, I think, since he was 16 years of age. Then he was hired as a dispatcher, learned the ropes there. He's been with us 2 years, and now this next step, which I think he's been waiting basically a lifetime for. So.
Excellent. Any comments from the board? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Ryan. Take a few pictures for his mom and dad.
Is Dad out there? No?
Congratulations, Ryan. Councilman Arco, would you do number 2 as well?
Sure, Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize hiring police officer Eddie Gonzalez by transfer effective June 29th, 2026, with a salary in accordance with the PBA contract.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Chief? Mr. Gonzalez?
If we hired based on smile, we nailed it. From our background check and our research, everybody did the same thing, said the same about Officer Gonzalez here from the DEP, that he's a good person and with a better family. And we got a family man. I think this is going to be a home run here in the town of East Fishkill with what we do. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Chief. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Everybody reviewed the May 7th and May 21st, 2026 minutes. Madam Clerk, were there any changes, alterations?
No.
No? No? Do I have a motion to approve the May 7th and May 21st, 2026 minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved, thank you. Okay. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing considering a moratorium?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moratorium Public hearing now open. I have our list of speakers here, so I will call them up one at a time. So I just want to make a few comments. Over the last several weeks, many residents have expressed their concerns about the possibility of a data center coming to our community. Many have spoken passionately, some have raised valid concerns and questions, and some have voiced fears about what could mean to our quality of life here in East Fishkill. And that's exactly how government should work. The people speak, the government listens, and the government acts responsibly. That's why we are proposing this moratorium here tonight. Not because there's an application, there is not. Not because we're hiding anything, we are not. But because a significant use like a data center deserves impactful thought and consideration by not just the public, by our professionals, by everybody in our community. Okay? A moratorium gives us time. It gives us a timeout for us to say, let's review everything. Time to study the infrastructure impacts, the environmental impacts. Time to hear from the experts. Everything that you want, we want. Okay? To us on this town board, for us to lead the town, we don't do it emotionally. We make durable decisions that will protect our community for a long time. We live here too. We want the best for our community. This board has always supported smart economic development. We have brought jobs, we have brought investment, we have increased our tax base here in East Fishkill while protecting the character of our town. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Supporting business does not mean ignoring our residents. In fact, responsibility is to strike the right balance, and that's what we want. That's why we are all here tonight. That's why we want to hear from the public. Okay, we might not agree on every step, but we are on the same side. We want to make sure that whatever comes into our community is best for the residents for the rest of their lives here. So, with that, I want to ask if there's any board members here that wish to make any comments before we open it up to the board, up to the public. Or do you want to wait for your comments till after?
Wait.
You want to wait? Okay, very good. So we will do, I will call the residents up who signed this and non-residents. We will start with our residents. I ask for 3 minutes for each resident, 2 minutes for non-residents. And our first is Kerry Peterson.
Good evening.
Evening.
Across the United States, the rapid expansion of data centers has emerged as a defining infrastructure challenge of the digital era. What was once an unseen layer of the internet has become a sprawling physical footprint driven by the exponential growth of cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Technology companies such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are building increasingly large and energy-intensive facilities to meet this demand, but as these projects scale, so do their impacts, raising urgent questions not only about energy and environmental sustainability, but also about where and how these facilities are integrated into existing communities. At a national level, data centers now place extraordinary demands on electrical grids, with individual campuses consuming as much power as small municipalities. In states like Virginia, Texas, and Arizona, utilities are being forced to expand generation capacity to keep pace. Water consumption presents an additional strain as large volumes are required for cooling systems. These pressures, once considered abstract or remote, are increasingly felt at the local level where infrastructure, environmental resources, and community character intersect. The data center known as 1 Gig Data Center East Fishkill is no different. It takes on heightened significance when sensitive or community-oriented uses are located in close proximity. The siting of a data center adjacent to residential neighborhoods raises fundamental issues of livability and long-term property value stability. When a preschool is located nearby, the analysis shifts further, implicating the health and well-being of young children, particularly with respect to air quality, noise exposure, and emergency preparedness. The presence of a veterinary group introduces parallel concerns for animal health, as animals can be especially sensitive to noise and environmental stressors. Likewise, churches situated within the immediate vicinity underscore the importance of preserving spaces intended for quiet reflection, community gathering, and spiritual practice, uses inherently at odds with the constant mechanical operation of a data facility. The question is no longer whether data centers are necessary, but whether their placement respects the character, health, and reasonable expectations of the communities in which they are sited. The national experience offers a clear and cautionary lesson. When high-intensity infrastructure is introduced into environments with sensitive receptors, the resulting impacts are non-speculative. They are immediate, cumulative, and enduring. In such settings, the burden of accommodating digital growth is borne disproportionately by those least equipped to absorb it. Accordingly, data centers in East Fishkill must be evaluated not in isolation, but as part of a broader pattern that has revealed the limits of outdated frameworks and the necessity for more careful, context-sensitive siting decisions. A data center and a surrounding environment defined by homes, children, pet caregiving services, and places of worship presents an issue of compatibility and consequence. The national dialogue makes clear that without meaningful consideration of these factors, a critical risk in development, policy, or technological change, the top-down progress can harm rather than help the people it is intended for if their needs and perspectives are ignored. As you consider this proposed law, I urge you to look beyond technical compliance and carefully evaluate whether this project truly respects the character, health, and reasonable expectations of the East Fishkill community, because, after all, East Fishkill's motto is, "It's a great place to live," so let's keep it that way.
It is. Thank you. Miss Glassberg? Hi, Miss Glassberg.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm all right. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I need my glasses. Sorry. I'm here to argue in favor of a moratorium, but not for 7 months. I think the moratorium would be more prudent and reasonable if it was for a year, and it would be revisited at that point. Current polling shows that irrespective of whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or an independent, 2/3 of Americans are concerned about these data centers and don't want them. So I have no reason to assume that our numbers would be any different in Fishkill.
East Fishkill.
East Fishkill. Thank you. All right. Even in rural areas where there are large parcels of land and there aren't that many people living, these people are starting to become very concerned about their quality of life and the character of their community. Some senators in Washington are voicing concerns that while we need these centers to compete with AI and the Chinese, they have to be done in the right way. State governors are trying to enact laws to protect their citizens, including Governor Abbott in Texas now. Our governor has not made a decision, but it's reasonable to assume she will enact some protective laws. There are concerns about national security, which haven't totally been addressed, because if the grids go down, our country could be in deep trouble. So we don't know about that. The truth is that really none of us know about the impact of all of these decisions, but we certainly have a right to be concerned. So I think the question for East Fishkill, not Fishkill, is what quality of life do we want here? I think the risks outweigh the benefits. There are no longitudinal studies as to the effect on health. They do not offer long-term jobs. The tax benefits will be at the expense of falling real estate values and less interest in living here. The current proposed sites are not on large tracts of land and with little population. The iPark site is particularly not suited. iPark uses a 418-acre former industrial property where there could be negative environmental impacts on soil and water. There's monitoring there right now. There's a plume. We also have endangered species, one being the Indiana bat, the long-eared bat, and the bog turtle, and they could be affected as well. Time is needed to assess the impacts of state and federal decisions. Zoning laws have to be passed to protect us. There are actually communities where the zoning laws are now requiring that the sound level and noise from these data centers not be any more than what's allowed in the town in general, and some have had success. Why would we choose to make East Fishkill ground zero as a test case? Why not wait to explore all of these things that are happening to best protect our community? The world's in turmoil, and many communities are being devastated by earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, and other natural things. We're blessed to live here. Let's keep it that way.
Thank you, Ms. Chris Duffelmeyer. Chris Duffelmeyer. And again, if we could keep it to 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right.
3 minutes, please. Thank you, sir.
First, I'd like to thank you for your time and your commitment to economic development and the community at large. If I'm allowed to, I don't know the rules, I'm new to the area. I rise for a point of information, address the board. It's my understanding that the master development plan specifically references in 2 locations attracting data centers to iPark. The moratorium cites a carve-out for economic development special permits. Is this the same instrument as the redevelopment special permit iPark already has?
That's correct.
That is correct. Okay. Who issues those permits and what's the criteria for issuing them in the future?
The town board issues them, and then they go through approval through the planning board,
Okay, very good.
With a public hearing.
with a public hearing, of
Okay,
course.
perfect. And now the other carve-out that I noticed that stood out to me was the 20 megawatt carve-out.
We did that for the state, that's what the state.
Yeah, it's analogous to what they have going. What stops developers from building 20 megawatt clusters? iPark's a large area. You know, what stops them from building a 20 megawatt here, a 20 megawatt next to it, 20 megawatt next to it, and they can build it up to something much larger? You know, I'd imagine everything's reviewed and things of that nature, but that was definitely a concern that came up. And then, as a union leader myself, I'd be remiss without asking, with this large development, what's the board's commitment to IDAs supporting local New York union labor?
We always have, we always will.
Beautiful, I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Deborah Pagano. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for giving all of us the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm actually going to speak more from, I was very concerned when I heard about what was taking place, and I was even more concerned when I checked. My son lives down in Texas, and I knew that they had opened the data centers down there. So I asked his opinion if it was to their advantage or not. And he had said, if you can put the brakes in any way to stop it from coming, especially to this area, do it. And I looked at some things. They said, Texans are raising growing alarms about the rapid expansion of hyperscale AI data centers. Complaints center on massive electricity draws that threaten the power grids, heavy groundwater depletion throughout droughts, and poor local transparency. Texas power grids are feeling the squeeze. AI facilities demand so much power that they risk driving up the cost for residential and small business customers while threatening the grid reliability. Massive volumes of water are required to cool these facilities. Studies in Houston point that to a blind spot in the water forecasting, predicting data centers should consume billions of gallons annually. Rural industrialization and noise. Residents in rural areas complain that the data centers disrupt their communities with constant industrial noise, air pollution, and massive land. Critics cite that the lack of state oversight, pointing out that the enforcement agencies like the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality are ill-equipped to quickly investigate nuisance complaints like noise and emissions. This is Texas and will soon be East Fishkill if this is allowed to go through. Although there are areas of East Fishkill that are public water, I'm from Stormville. I have a huge concern because we still have well water. These massive draws on the water will easily impact us, although we're up on the mountain, the water levels are not. It was my understanding that Mike Lawler and Anil Bipan and other Republicans have already put a one-year moratorium on Governor Hochul's desk, and she's refused to address it yet. She's waiting for the midterms. That was my
That's a shame.
So, I'd like you to tell her to stay out of the Hudson Valley, and if she'd like to put something up, go over to Indian Point. She and Cuomo shut it down. There's plenty of room over there. They destroyed that area, leave the Hudson Valley alone, and go down there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Here. Eric Hansen. We're getting the air conditioning going. How cool. We're trying here. You can keep it to 3 minutes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a resident. I've been a resident, living on Hortontown Road for 32 years. I love the area. We're right on the edge of the woods. It's sort of that where the mixing happens. We got bears, we got wildlife, and we have a beautiful Appalachian Trail, and a lot of people go by my house on the trail. I wouldn't have it any other way. This data center would be on the other side of the ridge. It would, I mean, from what I read, it would afford light pollution and make humming noises and this and that and so forth and so on. I just have to start by saying that this area that we live in is set upon Precambrian rock, as my dad used to say, which is older than the Himalayas. They're still going up, and we're worn down to a nub. So we used to be as high as the Rockies, I'm told, and now we're down here. And it's kind of like a crushed muffin is what it is. That granite it's porous, and it's, where's the water going? Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. Droughts create all kinds of interesting situations, the water table in our area, and so forth and so on. So it's a very unpredictable geography to suss. Privately, my belief is that those that love AI the most have the least intelligence of their own, but that's just my opinion. So, as far as I can tell, data centers like this would be tempting targets for evildoers, jeopardizing surrounding communities, messing with the water even if it's a closed-loop system, which could be breached, spewing its coolant into the aquifer during a seismic event, which we have every now and then. If it isn't a closed-loop system, what does that do to the surrounding communities? Option of a geothermal personal system, something I would like to do. I'd like to invest extra money for a geothermal system. If they're warming up all the water, it's not available, okay? Something I have 2 properties I would like to do that on. Our aquifer, I think, is really hard to map because it's so old and riddled with underground galleries and deep rubble-filled crevasses, fractured granite, as experienced by the Superfund site. That's kind of halfway between where I live and where this proposed site is. The guy threw chemicals down into one of these rubble-filled ravines. The backhoe bucket could only get so far, and the rest of it is a plume that we monitor to this day. As you could say, I don't know, but how no can you go?
Thank you, sir. Nora Marvello.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Most people have expressed my thoughts, so I'll just add, my parents bought the property up here in 1941. We live on Lime Kiln Road, up from where the proposed site is. We've seen a lot of change in that time. We saw the building of Interstate 84. We saw the building of the IBM complex. Listen, progress is inevitable. We know that. But progress that takes care of the community as opposed to progress that doesn't are two different things. We have an aquifer for water. They used to say that our property could run a farm, and we probably could. And we want to keep it that way. We're next to Fishkill Farms. We're next to an animal hospital, to a church. It's a residential area. Why do they feel the need to make it in a residential area? It should be in a place, I know we don't have deserts here, but it should be in a place like a desert, if that's, if that was where they wanted to look at, but not in a residential area. It'll affect not only the wildlife, the water, our quality of life. It'll affect the farm, Fishkill Farms, our good neighbors. It'll affect all the residents, their properties, their property values. What does any of this benefit the residents of East Fishkill? How would this benefit, besides the electricity use, the water, how does this benefit the residents? I can't find one thing that would say it would. So, so my thoughts. I don't see, and I hope, besides a moratorium, I don't know what else you can do. 3 years is great, but I don't think we should have to revisit this every 3 years.
Yeah. Thank you. Dorothy Rupka? Dorothy?
Oh, I'm supporting my daughter.
Okay. Pamela Henry?
Pamela Henry? Yeah, good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine. I am very concerned about all of this because I've sort of been through something similar. I'm not far from where this center is going to be doing their stuff or whatever. And there's a church there. It's in walking distance almost from my home. And I have been through this with the IBM contamination that happened. I was a victim of that. And because of that, after all the contamination, we are in the Shenandoah Valley, and we ended up paying the highest water rate, the fourth highest water rate in East Fishkill. And we're actually not getting water from East Fishkill. We're getting water from wells in Fishkill.
That's right.
We end up getting, the Shenandoah Valley is now paying the highest, the fourth highest for water rate. And we were going to come from to generate. I want to know where's the water going to come from to generate this system that they're going to have. Because if we don't have water, we have to get water from Fishkill. Where would they going to get water to generate that plant that they're going to have there? Okay, and what kind of energy will be used, and how will it affect the environment? After all of that, the water rate went up, the electric rates went up, and we are all struggling to pay water. I am struggling to pay water because I don't know how, I have to sort of slow down and flush in my bathroom to keep down the amount of water that I use because the rates went up so high. Because some of us are on fixed income and we can't afford these extra costs. And I know that this is not going to benefit the people. I hope it will, but as far as I know, I don't see how it's going to benefit the people of East Fishkill and our neighbors. Okay, lastly, the resident of East Fishkill and the surrounding area we have to go through another pandemic, or what you would call contamination again, because I don't know how this whole situation, how this whole data center is going to help us health-wise. And I'm hoping that they really, well, I hope that our town will prevent this from happening. Totally, not for 3 years, but forever, because we don't need it. Thank you.
Chris Froelich and Carlos Hernandez? Yeah. And just, everybody, just keep in mind, there is no application. So there's been comments that how is this going to affect? We don't know. There is no application. We haven't.
Well, that means nothing.
That doesn't have anything to do with this town board or anything about East Fishkill. That is New York State, not us. Just so it's clear.
Okay, I think that's fine, but I think it's very blatantly obvious how concerned everybody is here.
Of course.
And if there's nothing else you take away from this, it's that we do not want it. Right? We don't want it. We're not mincing words, right? We're not sugarcoating. Your residents don't want this. All right, so I wrote something quick, I'll read it. Like someone said, progress should benefit the residents, right? Not big tech, right? So I'm here to support a minimum of a 3-year moratorium on the development of data centers within the community. A minimum. Should be more than that. 3 years is too soon. We do not want it. We do not want it ever. 3 years is the bare minimum. We do not need to make big tech richer while they suck our resources dry. Our beautiful, green, lush forests will be razed to the ground and replaced with an ugly, gigantic metal box. No one wants that. We have beautiful environment here. We're very lucky to have it because it's going fast, and this will make it go much faster. We'll be sacrificing our water quality, our wildlife, our growingly scarce land, and already astronomical utility bills will only go higher, and we won't see a single positive benefit in our daily lives from this monstrosity of a project. No meaningful addition of jobs, like one of the other residents mentioned. So there is literally zero benefit. I think you can all see that. At least I hope you can. Especially in this time when we're living in a virtual oligarchy, right? Where the wealthiest of us control the government and the decisions made for us. The thought of supporting big tech to help make them even richer at the cost of our beautiful community and all of its valuable resources makes me sick. And it should make you sick as well. This room is full of angered, impassioned, and concerned constituents, your constituents. This should be proof enough, clear as day, that East Fishkill says no to any data centers within our borders or our neighboring communities.
Tanya Radford. Tanya Radford. Tanya Radford, please.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Radford, and I'm an East Fishkill resident and a Central Hudson customer. I live on Long Hill Road, just over the hill from Langkill Road. I heartily support the town board's declared intention of passing a 3-year moratorium, though even that may not be enough, on data center construction, as well as a proposed 7-month extension on the industrial construction moratorium. Our town, as you've said, needs time to develop policies and practices that will protect citizens from development that damages rather than enhances our community, and that will require, and we need policies that will require corporate beneficiaries to foot the cost of development and environmental remediation. From my perspective as a resident, the following measures are crucial. 1, any industrial building application should be subject to a robust environmental review, one that requires specific analysis of air, water, noise, and light pollution, as well as impacts on waste management, including how contaminated water and electronic waste will be disposed. Current review practices are likely inadequate for AI data center applications, and new practices must be developed before any moratorium ends, well before. A full independent SEQR review should be required of all data center applications, and any revisions to an industrial proposal should require a new and comprehensive review and comment period. Second, the beneficiary must pay for any additions to energy infrastructure. Ratepayers and communities should not have to pay for new infrastructure that supports new industry. Central Hudson customers already pay 40 to 50% more than the national average for electricity. Large commercial and industrial users should pay premium prices rather than get sweetheart deals at our expense. Our town shield presents East Fishkill as a nice place to live. Let's protect that. Yes to big trees and puffy clouds like the shield shows. No to clear cutting a wooded parcel and replacing it with an energy hog. Yes to robust environmental protections and sustainable, beneficial development. No to diesel generators running 24/7. And no to massive increases in water usage. Thank you for your attention.
Craig Bernardini. Craig Bernardini.
Greetings, Supervisor D'Alessandro and the Town Council. My name is Craig Bernardini. Tanya has just spoke as my partners. We live in the same address. We've been there for 14 years. I'll add that I work at Ostos Community College, which is a city university school in the Bronx, and I'm a proud member of the Professional Staff Congress, also a representative, Local 2334 of the American Federation of Teachers. I echo all the concerns, thanks, and potential remedies that Tanya has just raised, and all the concerns other people here have raised about air quality, energy usage, et cetera, et cetera. Rather than repeat them, I'd like to make a couple of additional points. The first is that we live a mile away or so from the Shenandoah Road groundwater contamination site, or as I'm sure you're aware, 60 residential wells were poisoned with tetrachloroethane, PCE, and or trichloroethane, TCE, which are, according to the EPA, quote, harmful volatile organic compounds used in industrial solvents, close quotes. IBM was declared the responsible party. One thing we know about data centers is that they use an enormous amount of water. Unfortunately, I have little faith that either Treetop or whatever third parties they contract with to manage wastewater disposal will make much more of an effort than IBM did to protect or safeguard our community's health. I do not want another 60 or perhaps more wells poisoned on the other side of the mountain. We need to make sure there are robust controls over corporate remediation of any and all waste before this process starts. The second thing I want to say concerns jobs. Data centers often sell themselves as engines of job creation. There isn't much data on this yet. It's too new. The latest study suggests, yes, they do create jobs, but many fewer permanent ones than they often promise. That's because you don't need a lot of workers to run a data center, something which maybe speaks to concerns about AI's impact on the job market more generally. The largest jump is in construction jobs related to the building of these centers, and with this in mind, I'd like to say a word in the abstract to my siblings in the building trades unions. I know that for any trade union, the chief concern is the bread and butter one of making sure the folks you represent have good jobs. But unions also need to weigh these gains against the longer-term impacts on the communities where they work and to which the workers they represent may or may not belong. The biblical analogy would be to the story of Jacob and Esau about selling one's birthright for a mess of pottage. Please don't let the mess of pottage offered by tech billionaires and data center developers who have anything but the wages or quality of life of your members in mind blind you to the potential impacts on our community's need for affordable utilities and a livable environment. Union means all of us. And lastly, I just once again wanted to urge the town council to pass the 3-year moratorium on data center construction.
Thank you. George Nauman. George Nauman.
Hi, I'm George Nauman. I'm not going to take the time to waive my credentials. You can look me up on the internet. But I would like to take the time to say thank you for being courageous enough to invite us all in, to holler at you, and to throw a lot out there for you to deal with. I think it's great that you're taking the initiative to say, you're representing us and you want to do what's right by the residents of East Fishkill. So thank you for the time. Hope it just started. 3 minutes. Where can I begin? One of the first speakers alluded to the effects of data centers on sensitives, and she didn't elaborate on that. What's sensitive? Those are the people who are bothered by the 60 hertz flashing of fluorescent lights. Those are the kids on the autistic spectrum. Those are old people like myself. So there are effects on sensitives, and they're important to consider. The data centers, when you look at the power consumption, Indian Point, when it was up and running, was putting out about 911 megawatts of energy at top speed, when it's really working. That's a little less than a gigawatt. When you go online and you check with AI and you check with Google, you'll find that data centers use a substantial fraction of that energy. I can't put it in comparative terms with the average household that's now using low-energy LEDs to save so they can pay that electric bill. I can't put it in terms of numbers of bananas, in terms of the size of the building either. But 900 megawatts for a nuclear power plant, 200 megawatts for a data center. Seems kind of disproportionate. I think even if I turn all the lights on, I'm not going to come close to that. I'm not big on rallies. I haven't been to one since Kent State. But I have run into a lot of useful information that I hope will make you better able to be the leaders in standing up to something that's inequitable, where control is given over to a company, speech impediment, that doesn't really respect your zoning lines. It doesn't even respect the boundaries of the earth. We've already had our hydrogeologic lecture about where the water comes from and where it's going. These things, the atmosphere, you go up 2 miles, you can't breathe. It's a skinny little layer that protects all the life on Earth. Pollution doesn't say, oh, we've reached the zoning line for where things are industrial. We're starting to pollute a residential area. Let's stop now. It doesn't work that way. The town of East Fishkill has rules about how many chickens you can have. Don't waste my time on applause. It's not what I'm here for. And I'm not mocking that rule. That rule is there for a reason, for health and safety, and there are people who inspect things like that.
And the residents wanted it.
And they say specifically, no roosters, because they're as noisy as a data center. So, all right, for those of you who have chickens, I
4 minutes,
apologize.
4 minutes, sir.
4 minutes you gave me?
yeah.
All right, in that case, I'll shut up because there are plenty of intelligent people here with a lot to say.
Appreciate your
I hope I've given you
comments.
some ammunition to be courageous with. Look on the internet. Learn what you're talking about. These things are not good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. David and Nancy Nodell. David and Nancy.
Thank you for listening.
Hi, sir.
I live in a community which is less than 3 miles away from where this 1 gigawatt data center would be built. And we have big concerns about water, noise, and air pollution right there. And one thing I wanted to I've been looking into what do other communities do when they're trying to fight something like this. And in the past, a lot of them have relied upon federal laws, the Clean Air Act, the National Environmental Policy Act, and the Endangered Species Act. But the current administration has issued executive orders which basically gut these. And in fact, I just found out a few days ago that since the beginning of 2026, there have only been 12 environmental lawsuits brought by the current EPA. In past administration, there would have been over 200.
Yeah, it's a joke.
So I'm assuming you're going to support your community and fight this. But even if you do, I want you to be aware that our current administration has signed 4 executive orders pushing data center development onto a high-speed track. One of them says that no environmental review can last more than 2 years. And whereas when I've been looking at how long environmental reviews take, they typically take 3 to 4 years all by themselves. So there again, they're trying to speed things up. And they're also, another one is trying to make AI a prime strategic part of the United States policy, and that includes data centers. So you're going to be getting pressure, political pressure, and maybe even the Department of Justice pressure if you go against this, assuming it's approved by the New York State Grid Authority. You're going to be getting pressure. So I want you to take a close look at your zoning laws and try to find loopholes and close them. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that, let's see.
3 minutes, sir.
There are like 36 open permits right now before the New York State. 20 that are in operational and 36 that are proposed. There was 37. There's only been 1 that's been turned down. So I know you say you don't have a proposal yet, but it doesn't look like they're turning down a large number of these. So we need to get that 3-year moratorium, and we also need to make sure that we have the zoning laws in effect here in East Fishkill to resist any pushback afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. James Webb. So we have 30 more speakers. I'm going to switch to 2 minutes per person, please, because we'll be here all evening. So Mr. James Webb. James Webb? James Webb, yes, sir.
Good afternoon, I'm James Webb.
Hi, sir.
I live 8/10 of a mile away from my park, so I'm a bit concerned about the potential of a data center. I'm not going to go into all those things I was really going to get fired up about because they've been very articulated very well by others. Those are also my concerns. You know, one of the big ones that brought me down here was I have a well, I'm 8/10 of a mile, the water, obviously the issues associated with, you know, the economy, the environment, all of that. But the reason I decided to get up anyway and speak is because these concerns are real. I feel I have a bit of a crystal ball, and I say that because my daughter is a reporter in Texas, in Abilene, where they have a huge data center, which is, by the way, infinitely farther away from the town center. And she has been reporting all year on not just concerns, but actual things that are happening. Families who can't afford to live their daily lives. Families that give away their dog because they can't feed the dog, so they're going to the local shelter to say, please take care of him, he's a great dog, but I can't keep him because it's either the dog or my kids. I will say, number one, I forgot to say it already, I want to thank you all for hearing us because I think that's critically important. We need you. I think this fight is going to be a huge fight. I know there are levers you can pull and many others that you can't, but all the more reason to stand up. Stand up for the community. Stand up for the individuals who are here who are going to feel it. Everybody here is going to be impacted if that data center comes here. And it's not going to be 1 day, 5 days. It's going to be for the rest of the time we're here. So I just want to implore upon you folks to please do everything you can, listen to your community, and know that this is real. Because my daughter tells me, all about the construction workers, the trucks rumbling back and forth, the noise, the people losing their homes, rents are through the roof, electricity is through the roof. I'll stop here, but I just want to let you know about that crystal ball because I watch my daughter every day report, and it's all happening, and none of it is good. And there's no direct advantage to that city of Abilene. They're not feeling anything but the pain, and the same thing is going to happen here. So I appreciate your time, and I really, if there's anything I can do, let me know.
Thank you, sir. Ed Ivory. Yes, sir.
I apologize for being rowdy before.
That's okay, sir.
My intent. And when I was speaking before, the audience here, I think, gives you gentlemen the permission to take your jackets off and loosen your ties. I think it's because of height. You all look like you're on the Supreme Court, all right? So maybe the gentleman in the green, you look very uncomfortable, and you don't look like you're smiling. I would take off the blue jacket, all right?
All right, 2 minutes, sir. Let's get going.
All right. Everybody, I want to go on just general record. I share the audience's hostility towards this. But one of the things you said at the beginning here was to strike the right balance. And we have to realize, unfortunately, that the person or the company or whatever it is that owns that property has rights. All right. Now, the real question here with them, whatever they're doing with this project, is to deal with the law of unintended consequences. And a very concrete example of that was the pollution that we suffered from IBM about, in the late 1980s. All right. Now, IBM did not pollute. It was a subcontractor. And in turn, that left them off the hook to some extent. And it left us with the legal process of over 10 or 12 years.
They also polluted themselves, IBM, on that site. And not only their contractors, but themselves as well.
Right. But the problem here is that what happened is we had to underwrite it. I was reading a book by a hedge fund manager, and one of his quips is that business privatizes profit, but collectivizes debt. That means everybody in here, in one form or another, paid for the water system that went into this community because so many wells were polluted, all right? IBM did not really reimburse us, all right? And we also have this love-hate relationship with business. It underwrites our school taxes. So we don't want to hear a lot of people complaining about what they're paying in taxes. So we've got to strike a balance. And one of the things is to seek a concept of bonding for this thing called law of unintended consequences. Jamaica, where we all go to visit occasionally. Now, well, I haven't even been there. But what they did was they issued a sovereign bond debt to cover hurricanes exceeding a 4 point whatever. And they got purchases. And believe it or not, when they were hit with their 5 point whatever hurricane, that bond paid off. So one of the things, I think one of the tools in your arsenal in looking at this would be to explore very concretely the use of some sort of concept of bonding if unfortunately we do not kind of win and get something else in there, all right? That's important. The other thing out of this is to again look back at our zoning laws. And one of the things I'm hyped up on, and I don't see them on this building, are solar panels. Clearly, if this building is using all that electricity, and it's 1 million square feet, there's not going to be that much on the roof that solar panels could not be put on them, all right? That requires engineering, and it has to exceed more than snow loads. I brought this to your attention over 1.5 years ago in a private letter. Actually, no, it was a formal letter. I never got a reply. But the point is that commercial developments that go forward in this community are not built to accept solar panels. They're built to a minimum standard. And solar panels simply add more weight to a roof structure. If if this contractor has to take this into consideration, that might be something not in their favor.
Thank you, sir. Can you wrap it up? We are over 3 minutes.
All right. The other thing, I would expect the town board not simply to communicate with their equals in other cities that have this or other towns, but actually visit it, all right, and make an on-site, not telling them, but make a drive-by inspection. Those are simple things, and you can weigh the balance on it.
Thank you, sir.
All right?
Thank you, sir.
And gentlemen, take your jackets off. It's too damn hot.
Evening.
She's next.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If we could keep it to 2 minutes so everybody could speak, that would be wonderful. We got like 30 more.
Okay.
No, my residents first.
Good evening. My name is Fran Caracappa. I'm a 37-year resident of East Fishkill. I want to thank the town board. When I was here a couple of months ago, we talked about, I asked for 3 years. The supervisor had suggested 7. So now we're back to 3, so I appreciate that you heard us, and then you're willing to listen to us tonight. A hyperscale data center has no place in a town looking to expand tourism or open space, as our new master plan has indicated. Does the town need such a large capacity? ISO told us when you brought them in with Central Hudson is that the capacity, we're paying more for New York City because they're drawing on the capacity. Do we need that here? We do not need a hyperscale data center. We need data. We need data centers. We use our cell phones. I think people have to think about this. We use our cell phones. We listen to Spotify. So data centers will be here. The issue is how much concern that we have to take into consideration of our environment and our people. I have an MPH. And listening to colleagues and reading the studies, there is hypersensitivity to the sound and the lights. There's also water consumption. I believe at the last meeting, it was mentioned, I want to say it was by the town engineer, they have closed systems. Well, closed systems may use less water, but the issue really is that water evaporates. There's also chemicals that are used to clean the data centers. Where does that go? These are forever chemicals. So we have a tremendous amount of concern, okay? Do we need this burden on us? Whether our electric bills go up or not, do we need this burden in this town? I've been in a number of meetings, we want to beautify this town. A data center will not do that. I've always acknowledged that this project is not before the planning board. Okay? I've never said it was, and it is not. So people need to understand that. It's not in front of the planning board. We had a developer come in, present a warehouse plan. In and of itself is not something we want, but in and of itself, it was a warehouse. And then it became a project with ISO. Nick, when I was here,
It did not with the town of East Fishkill.
I said with ISO.
Yeah, okay.
When I asked you about it, you had indicated you didn't know anything about it when we spoke. So I'm asking you now, did the developer come to you and say, I want to change this to a data center?
I made that very clear. He came and said that he wanted to switch to a data center, and I told him at that point, there is no power here. There's no power available for a data center of his size, not even close. We have 50 megawatts available between the east and west campus combined, and we need that power for that site for future manufacturers and other better paying jobs. And I made it very clear at that time that the town was not interested in looking for that.
Okay. Right now, it's still in an active queue with our grid operator.
That's his business,
Okay.
right.
But it is there, and in addition to that, there's 150 megawatts for iPark that's also being looked at. So
I have not seen that.
it's on their list. I can give you the project number.
I speak with Central Hudson almost regularly,
Project number is
weekly.
1760, and it's listed as an active project in the queue. So what ISO is doing now, they're looking at both of those together. They also have a plan to possibly look at that, meaning iPark, the 1 gig, and Orangeburg. So they are looking at what is the total load for all of the projects. But it's a step process. They're looking at base load first, then they're looking at the 1 gig, and then they're looking at iPark, the 150 together. And then they're going to look at what does Orangeburg give us. A moratorium is needed to assess full impact of the environment. Clearly, we have a well. I have wetlands. I have the capacity to have a lot of water because I have wetlands, and I'm a proud steward of those wetlands. I don't want them affected.
4 minutes, John.
Okay. Well, and I guess one other question is, I come here as a concerned citizen. And this is not a political issue. This is a non-political issue. This is a community issue. And it's been mentioned that this is a political issue. It's also been mentioned that we are spreading hysteria. When the grid operator is looking at a project, it's not hysteria. So, as a community member and somebody who sits here when there are only 5 people at a town board meeting, you ask people to get active. People are active now. Please listen to them, and please pass the 3-year moratorium. I have one comment, and that is, I'm concerned about home rule. And what does that mean when the governor does sign the 1-year moratorium? Thank you, and thanks.
Thank you. Donna Ogden. Okay.
Can I take her spot?
Deanna Jacobs. Raphael Korek.
Oh, here she is.
Hi.
Hi, if we could keep it to 2 minutes, everybody, because I'm then not going to get to the non-residents. I'm not going to get to them. I have a full agenda to go through.
Okay. Hi, my name is Deanna. I have been a resident of East Fishkill my entire life. Oh, okay, sorry. So I have been here my entire life. I grew up playing softball here. I have returned. I went to grad school, lived in Albany for a while, came back because I love it so much here. And one of the things that I've noticed is that there has been a lot of concern about environmental impact of a data center. And one of the things that I've paid attention to was that there is the Office of Renewable Energy siting. And there has been a lot of there's people excuse me. It is being mandated that there's protected farmlands in Fort Edward specifically that is going to be a solar farm. And while that doesn't seem relevant to what this is, I was just curious if ORIS, the Office of Renewable Energy Siting, is going to have any sort of influence on future data centers, even if, and hopefully you do pass a moratorium today.
Could you repeat that question?
Sure. So do you think that if you have a moratorium passed today, would you then have the Office of Renewable Energy Siting have any sort of influence on our home rule?
No, once we act, that's the law, correct?
Unless the state legislature.
Oh, if the state, of course, if the state our laws are beneath the state, so we play kowtow to the state. So if the state passes something above us, we have to adhere to that.
Okay.
Our laws don't supersede theirs.
Okay, so home rule would not then stay?
Right.
Okay, all right. Well, I really pray that we have some new planning going in that could potentially go against that, any sort of policy.
Call the
that would
governor.
protect us.
We
Yeah,
should all
that would be
call
really
the
great.
governor.
So I just wanted to bring awareness to that as well. But I just wanted to thank you guys for hearing us today.
Thank
and
you.
I won't take any more of your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Raphael Korzik.
Hello, I'm not going to speak long because everyone else has elucidated all the negative impacts, but I've been following this whole AI thing for a long time, and all the health, there's like a sound that goes that we don't hear that affects little children and animals, and also we're it's the AI bubble, and it's gotten out of hand, and it is not. We're part of the whole country dealing with this right now. It is largely unsustainable as it is being implemented right now. And that's the overriding concern. So we're just a little piece of that here because this is happening all over. And no one is prepared for this, and AI is sort of out of control. So that's what I wanted to say. And I do have a private well, and I've lived here all my life, and I am concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mike Nagy.
Good evening, members. Good evening, board members. Thank you for everything you do as board members for this great town. I appreciate it. A lot of my questions were already answered by you previously, so thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
My only question is, I see that the moratorium is consistent with the state's moratorium. I'm sure the lawyer has a lot of input on that as well. But is there a time or place during this board meeting today to make a motion for a longer moratorium or one that doesn't set the bar at 20 megawatts? Can we just make it all-inclusive for any megawatt data center?
Well, we are proposing a 3-year moratorium. The state is a 1-year moratorium.
Oh, okay. What if, is there a time and place to make a motion today for a 5-year moratorium for any data centers in this town? Is that possible?
Well, this board would have to make that motion.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yes.
Copy that. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. Michelle Fredrickson. Naomi Puccarello. Oh, Michelle?
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry. Thank you again for allowing everyone to make their voice heard today. Appreciate it. My name is Michelle. I live essentially across the street from the town hall, so here once in a while. Glad that you could have everyone here today. I'm here to urge you to pass the 3-year moratorium. I would like to see a longer, if that's able to be considered as well, if someone would make a motion. So just going to echo what the gentleman said before. As a lot of people have already said, a lot of residents in our area are very sensitive to water issues with having experienced contamination, wells drying up. I've had a neighbor that had to replace their point well because they didn't have enough water, so wells will have to be drilled deeper. And regular testing has to occur in some places because of such contamination that has occurred in the past. Other data centers around the country have essentially led to major water issues for residents in the area, with some of those data centers saying that they would use X amount of water and have used double that, and really impacted people's quality of life and leaving residents high and dry, essentially. Aside from the water issue, a lot of people have already raised the energy issue, and I'm sure a lot of people in this room have experienced penny pinching in order to pay Central Hudson's very high electric bills, and I don't want to see our bills get any higher. I don't want to need to have to spot my mom again for a high Central Hudson bill. So we don't want that to happen in our area, and just in terms of the amount of power that the data center would use, obviously the amount of power could power hundreds of homes, thousands of homes instead.
Not to mention how e-waste will be handled. Someone brought that up earlier. We need to ensure that if this ever goes into place, that we know exactly where any type of waste is going. And in the end, in terms of data centers, who's actually paying for it? It's certainly not the companies who are doing everything in their power to make this feel inevitable. It's us. We who would be left with higher electricity bills, questions on our water supply. So all of this to say that we need a halt on the data centers so that local families don't have to pay higher bills for the profit of a few tech billionaires.
Thank you.
I know you said earlier that the motto is it's a nice place to live, and I want to make this my forever home, so I want the moratorium in order to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Naomi Puccarelli? Naomi Puccarelli? Naomi Puccarelli? No. Ed Heiser? Ed Heiser?
Can I take a spot? I didn't see the sign sheet.
Yeah. Adam Tinter. What?
Who wants to speak in place of someone else?
Well, you gotta wait till the list is over.
That's what you gotta say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Trying to go through the list, sorry. Ed Tinter, how are you, sir?
Good. Hello again, everybody. I just want to say thank you for allowing me and all the residents to speak. I'm not going to repeat many of the concerns that were presented here today. I've been to many of these town board meetings, as somebody said before, when there was 5 of us here. Somebody recently at this meeting talked about the developer rights. Well, we have rights too. This isn't just about data centers and 3-year moratoriums. I believe that the East Fishkill Board, the East Fishkill residents, need to seriously consider how we look at our industrial land use, whether it's a warehouse or a data center or a processing center, whatever it may be. And I want to encourage all the residents here to support this town board to use every tool at their disposal to do so, which we have some that I'm aware of. We have a 2019 industrial land study that makes recommendations on this property and 6 other spots. Changing the zoning law of this particular area from a industrial use to a commercial usage. We have legislation passed down by New York State to both municipalities and towns, sections 261 and 239, which allow the town to, based on environmental and residential impact, change zoning laws of vacant land. This is not just about the data center. I live here, you live here, we all live here. We need to take a long, hard look at what we are going to do with our industrial space and stop the over-industrialization of East Fishkill. You have our support. Honestly, you have our support. There's a whole bunch of people here that I haven't seen in the year and a half that I've been coming to town board meetings. So all I'm going to say is, let's use those tools to protect what we have here, because once it's gone, we can never get it back. We can never get it back. Go get them. Go get them.
Thank you, sir. Are you a resident? Yes. This will be the last of the residents.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what was your name, sir, so I can add it to the list?
Ken. Oh, never been up here. Thank you for everything you guys do, but have you guys looked at what it's going to take to put this in our area? The water, the air, the pollution, the footprint. Have you guys looked?
That's why we want the pause.
Just the 3
That's
years,
why we're
like it's
putting-
going to not be any
That's
different.
why we're putting the
4 years?
moratorium.
We're putting the moratorium. We want to do our due
Right.
diligence on everything.
Right, but the 3 years, is that going to make it any different before or after? I mean,
It could, we don't know. I'm not an
oh, so it
expert.
might use a little bit less water or, okay.
No, I don't know. I'm not an expert. That's why we hire the
Yeah,
experts.
we do.
Yeah.
We just, why would you want it here? Do you guys want it here?
I didn't say I wanted
I'm
anything.
just asking, Would you guys want it here?
First of all, you do not have the infrastructure
available for this kind of unit in East Fishkill.
Okay, but I'm just saying,
So-
please, just answer the question.
Everybody has addressed the need of electricity. This year alone, we suffered the consequences of what Governor Cuomo shutting down Indian Point did to this community. There is seniors in this community that couldn't afford to buy medication to pay their electric bill. So before we could talk about data centers, we really have to have those people in Albany, and I hope everybody in this room tonight makes a phone call to whoever represents us in Albany to say, guess what? You need to produce affordable energy for the Hudson Valley. This town board is not supportive of any big projects like this. I don't know. I thank everybody for coming out tonight and addressing all your concerns and needs. But no one on this town board, including myself, has expressed a desire for these kind of projects. Whether it is hearsay or fake news, I don't know. But I could assure you, the needs of this community are different than a data center. We need affordable energy.
No argument there.
Just to clear the air.
Okay, so,
Excuse me, sir. We have a process that we have to go through. And if you want this moratorium to stick and then extend, so on and so forth, we have to do the process. We have to educate the community. We have to educate ourselves, right? So that we know that this moratorium will stick and it's the right thing for the community. And that's really, I mean, a month ago, this wasn't even on our plate. We've been talking about it.
I talked to
So, you know,
Mr. D'Alessandro about this a month ago, and he made a statement that they wanted to put it out in Wikipedia, but it wasn't zoned for that, and that maybe the IBM plant might be a better location.
we have a lot of tire.
Power. We don't have the power.
Sir, we have a lot of tire kickers that come into the planning board. I was on the planning board before I was elected onto the main board.
Sure.
And they come in, they present, we spend hours driving around, looking at what they want to do, and then they vanish for years. We don't see them again.
Happens
And
all
that
the
happens a
time.
lot. Every day that happens.
We just, you know what, a lot of people, I'm speaking for myself, we're scared because we don't, you know, the overdeveloping and this is all we got left. That was
We got
born
it,
and raised
Ken.
here.
We understand. We hear you.
We're putting it all in your hands.
hear you,
Just
Ken.
Please, please. There is not one good thing that comes out of this, so we don't want it.
We are on
Thank you,
board
Ken.
with your thinking. It's just that it's only fair. It's only fair. What's his name?
Supervisor.
Okay, we're going to now start. Okay. We're going to start now with the non-resident list, okay? First,
Supervisor.
Donna Minkowitz.
I need 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, you have to wait. People
Well, there
signed
was
up.
another person that didn't speak, and I'm taking 30 seconds out of her 2 minutes. So just 1 second. It seems to me, by what I hear, that this may not be up to us or yourselves. If there is people behind that is making these decisions for this area, I think we need to lawyer up.
The governor, you could call the
Lawyer up
governor.
early before they deny your moratorium.
Call the governor. She can end it all.
Well,
Governor Hochul, call her.
Well, you know what? That is, nobody's gonna call.
Why?
You need.
Why?
Everyone needs to call. That you need to get ready with lawyers to defend the area. I live here, I love it, I think I'm in heaven.
Thank you.
Come on.
Donna Minkowitz.
All right.
Exactly.
Supervisor.
Residents, Donna Minkowitz.
Supervisor, could I just to talk about the length of the moratorium and the issue. So tonight was advertised for a 3-year moratorium. In setting moratoriums, the courts and the state require to have a specific purpose and to be taking action and to do it in the quickest, shortest period of time. Because as people have said, the property owner has property rights. And today, the town board received a missalette from the attorneys for the property owner, obviously indicating their objection to the length of the moratorium. The purpose of the moratorium, not that that's, but everybody has an opinion. The purpose of the moratorium, if enacted, whatever time period, is for the town board then to allow the study to be done And the study is not to one way or the other, it's to identify all the issues, all the impacts, and to then specifically address them, either by, you can't just exclude things unless you have a basis for it. So all of it's not just the will, it's the legal rights of everyone. So the board is attempting, we started out with the 3 years because originally the state was going to be a 3-year moratorium. The state bill that was passed by the legislature is down to 1 year, requiring New York State DEC to perform a study on the environmental issues, which we've heard many of, the PSC to do a study on the power source, the power needs, perhaps setting a different tier. So we're, if the board goes with the 3 years or some other period, as long as we're doing something, studying it, and collecting the data, we can be sustained, hopefully. But it's a balancing act. We will be challenged, but we are going through the process. Tonight, just to switch from 3 to 5 years is not doable because the process of enacting a local law, which this is, requires public notice in advance, and that would be a substantial change to the law. So when you have a public hearing, you could lessen it, but you can't increase it. Can't make it more stringent without advertising. So the board is working within those parameters. They, obviously, we're making a record of your comments. They'll be transcribed. They'll be part of the litigation, as, will the property owner and whatever they have. There's 2 prongs to the moratorium. One is the data center issue, because in industrial zones, the table of permitted uses doesn't permit it, but the concern would be that an applicant would go to the zoning board and say, I'm like this industrial use, so I should be allowed. So we want to look at that during the moratorium. So the second prong to it is to extend the industrial district moratorium through the end of the year. The town board has already engaged the services of a planning consulting firm to assist us in getting the data to analyze the industrial districts and make adjustments as needed. So this is all the process, but the beginning tonight is with the moratorium issue.
I would also like to say that I will be proposing that during a moratorium, assuming the board approves a moratorium, that we establish a data center task force, so that during that moratorium, we will have a task force made up of all the key stakeholders, residents, town officials, the engineering, utilities, environmental, all the relevant aspects. There's a lot of misinformation as well as information we don't know, and we need to educate ourselves to make the right decisions. Excuse me. So part of my resolution will be to form a task force so that during the moratorium, we will fully look at the issue. We will look at whether our existing infrastructure can support it. What are the specific requirements that we need? What are the risks? How do we mitigate them? What zoning, setback, landscaping, noise standards are needed? What are the fiscal impacts, positive, negative, as well as how do we continue to retain our community character? And so I think that is a key piece of a moratorium, that during that moratorium, we're going to take the time to study it, to make sure we make decisions based on facts, based on the latest technologies and engineering solutions, and do what's right for our town.
Thank you. Okay, non-resident list. Eileen Elrod from Fishkill. If we could keep it to 2 minutes, please. We have.
Got you.
Thank you,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Hi.
I know you were talking about that you were looking into feasibility studies and studying it. I actually have a detailed data analysis of what an AI center would do for our communities. I can give this to you so
Right
that you
to the
can study it.
Yeah.
All right, 2 things that I've noticed is that right now the current United States policies of data centers is that they're pushing the data centers through as quickly as possible. Right now we have 3,900 data centers in the United States, which comprises 37% of data centers throughout the world. Right now, our current water qualities in our area, excuse me, I'm a little nervous, is at a B. It's like, there are 3 things that we do have to worry about when it comes to, you have your water pollution, your air pollution, and of course, anything else above that. And right now, they are not, and the administration has not put anything, the federal administration has not put anything as to if the data centers will actually have to pay for their own energy. So 27 states right now are advancing data legislation to make sure that the data centers actually pay for their own energy. Maine is actually the first one so far that is pretty much close to passing it completely. I do recommend that you do a minimum of 3 years for the moratorium. I would extremely, I think it's a great thing to do right now, because right now what's looking at the people that are looking to open up the data center, there are 3 main players right now, Treetop, Meridian, and Donovan. Donovan is already put in, as of February 2026, a TPAS recommendation for a data center in 4 parts. They are hoping to put in a 1,000-megawatt load interconnection data center for or about October 2028, which would be just after the 3-year moratorium. So understand that right now, they're coming for us.
Thank you,
The
ma'am.
wolves are at the door.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I would like to give you all of this. I
Sure.
hope you can use
You
it.
can give it right to the clerk.
Right to the clerk.
Thank you, ma'am. Brian Lloyd from Beacon. Brian Lloyd from Beacon. Now, Victoria Close from LaGrange. Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Victoria Close, and I live in neighboring LaGrangeville, so I'm concerned because it's pretty close to us. On Tuesday, the New York Times had an article called Living by Data Centers, and I want to quote some of the things that they say about a description of the data centers. And the data centers have to generate memory chips. So the memory chips generate heat, and they need giant industrial fans to keep from melting. Many data centers also use diesel power generators since the grid often can't support such heavy power needs. The humming of those cooling systems, the rumbling of the generators, and the whirring of fans can be heard and felt for hundreds of feet and even up to a mile. The acoustic footprint is just orders of magnitude different. Some of the noise consists of infrasound, ultra-low frequency sound waves that fall below the threshold of human hearing. So we're talking about something that will affect humans, plants, and all living creatures. And I support your urge and your movement to declare a moratorium for as long as possible.
Thank you, ma'am. David Itkin, Pine Plains. David Itkin.
Thank you.
Hi, sir.
I signed the sheet. I thought it was a standard sign-in sheet. I didn't realize it's going to put me over here. But I came down here. I live about an hour north of here. And I came down, frankly, out of solidarity because, well, there's nothing coming to Pine Plains at this moment. This could happen tomorrow, and it would be a disaster for us, just as I think it'll be a disaster for East Fishkill. And a question, since this is all new to me, and I have the article that the speaker before me mentioned, and this is from the New York Times. It says, living by data centers has an unseen, unrelenting cost, that hum. And one thing about the hum is that it's not loud noise that you could read on a meter and say it's too loud. There's really no way.
Constant hum, yeah.
It's a constant hum that, as the speaker mentioned, not only do you hear it, but you feel it. But I have a question. Why, is there a limit on the moratorium? It's got to be 3 years, it can't be longer? Because it seems like...
We advertise 3 years, and to go above that, we have to re-advertise a new public hearing and have this process again by New York State law.
What is...
And you have to show, just to go back, and you have to show that it's reasonable for that time to accomplish your purpose. So it's initially our goal within the 3 years to be able to do the studies and to make a determination. If you did one for 5 years, it would probably be unsustainable by the courts, and we'd be back trying to fill the gap. So we can always extend it if the time comes that you need to extend it.
Because I can't imagine how you mitigate any, let alone...
I'm not saying that you have to have the mitigation. I'm just saying that while we study it and prepare to decide what way to go.
So it's essentially a pause. It's a pause.
Yes.
Right.
With the understanding that in 3 years, assuming that there is still a project to be had, and
Correct.
assuming that none of these problems can be solved.
Right, and also not to be the bearer of bad news, but there is also the higher levels of government have preemption authority. So the federal government had preempt towns from regulating cell towers if there's a study done to show the area needs coverage. So we can regulate how it's screened at the bottom and everything, but we can't prevent them. The state government, by establishing the Public Service Commission, has preempted us with respect to where the high power lines go, power substations and generation stations. So those are all tools the government have to force things on us that we may not like, but, yeah.
Okay, but you're doing everything that you, as the town board, can do.
As the town board's considering
Can
that.
I submit this to the...
To the clerk, yes, thank you. Andrew Parker, Highland.
Good evening, thank you for having me.
How are you? Thank you. Drive safe, sir.
All right, I had to cut down my speech a little bit, but I have watched countless towns across America approve of the building of these data centers, and I've seen what it does to the community, how it affects people's lives, and especially the environment around them. I've watched how these data centers have destroyed the life around it and how it has permanently altered the way of living in those towns and communities. And I can tell you right now, I refuse to sit and watch the same thing happen in the town I grew up in and I continue to live in. We cannot afford to share our community with a data center. It has no benefits, it does not create jobs, it doesn't improve our way of living, it does not make it easier or cheaper for people to afford to live here. It will only cause harm and detrimental damage to the place that thousands of people call home and continue to work hard to make sure they can keep this place as their home. No AI data center will ever be more important or even as important as the communities that we have here, the lives that people have built over generations, the environment we try our best to protect from things like these data centers, the wildlife that we live among, and everything that makes this town what it is. An AI data center will never be welcomed here. It only causes harm to our communities and the lives that live here. You are part of that community, so it is your duty to help protect and provide for this community. We are part of it as much as you are, and I can hope that you will represent us properly, to protect us properly. Sorry. And just one more thing I would like to add. For anyone who is for these data centers being built across the country, every time you step outside, every time you appreciate the nature around us that we have taken advantage of and destroyed, every time you interact with someone in a community being affected by these data centers, every time you see an animal, whether it is a pet or wildlife, I want you to think about the fact that all of that is being destroyed by these data centers. And I don't want you to see me and my voice as an enemy of technological progression, because I know some may see these data centers as a step towards progression for our community, but this is not progression. This is the destruction of our communities and another fat check in another rich man's pocket that has no care for our communities. I am not fear-mongering. I am not being overdramatic. I'm simply stating what it is, a detrimental threat to every single thing that I just listed. Is that the community you want your kids to live in? Is that the community you want your pets to live in? Is that the community you want your family and friends to live in? If so, you are not for the betterment of our society, but a supporter of the destruction of the world around us. People over profit always. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Shirley Frectis from LaGrange. Shirley Frectis from LaGrange. It's Freitas, yes, ma'am.
Well, I've only lived here for about 11 years. I'm a native Californian, so I can tell you
very much what happens when developments are allowed to run unbridled, and the problem with water usage. So we all know that Mother Nature doesn't have these town borders. We've seen bears wandering from one town to the other and all these other animals. So this would affect every one of us. In LaGrange right now, for instance, there's a proposal for this town center opposed by 96% of the residents. We don't have a great town board like you guys have here. And so they're kind of riding roughshod over it. But I wanted to address the member who is talking about the study, the group. That's an incredibly good idea, because what they did in LaGrange is they did all these studies kind of on the sly, and the developer himself hired the groups that did the studies. So there's no environmental problems, there's no water problems, there's no traffic problem. You know, they're like basically covering it all up. So we need independent voices who can look at that. And the moratorium, as you pointed out, will allow time for the structures that could be developed to be looked into, like, you know, their own power generation. What are they going to do with the water? And by the way, the town center that they're proposing is built over the aquifer. So, you know, we need to talk about the water usage, definitely. As a Californian, that was a big issue for us. So also, I want to say that if the administration, whether it's the federal or some other group, attacks you guys or sues you or whatever they try to do to stop you from doing the right thing, I think everybody here will back you up. So just let people know. Let people know. And I have one question for that was a great presentation from the city attorney. But my question, maybe I'm confused about this. If the state passes a 1-year moratorium, does that override the 3-year one if you pass it?
Well, no, the statute doesn't say that the governor has before. So I think it would be, they would both coexist for that year.
Okay.
And then ours would continue to whatever time.
Okay, that's good news. Okay,
Yeah.
I was worried that might supersede it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
and Keep on doing the right thing, you guys.
Tyler Melendez. Tyler.
That's why I'm here, but, all right. Thank you for giving your time, and, I know you guys are with us, and understand the environmental impacts that this can cause and for everybody here. But we all know what data centers can do to us and the environment. Data centers raises our electric and water bill, lowers the value of the town, and make excessive noise and give us poor water to live off of. The board knows what data centers can do to us and our future generations. As a hiker, I don't want to be on the Appalachian Trail and listen to or know that a data center is only an 11-minute drive from me. This vacant lot should be used for something that's actually beneficial to the community it is being built off of, instead of taking from it. Make it, I don't know, affordable housing, water storage, or something. I don't know, something that's other than obviously a data center. Data centers don't just affect us, they affect the environment and how future generations survive on the water that they need. As members of the board, it is your duty to help keep the interests of the public and not the interests of the wealthy. You know what's best for us, and if you don't make the right decision, you'll know about it in the next election, That's how it goes. But thank you.
Thank you. Melissa Tyler. Melissa Tyler. For the public hearing?
I'm just, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I just like, I'm wondering.
When we get through the speakers, I'll ask for any questions. Melissa Tyler. Lori Barris.
That's Lori Barris.
Oh.
Yes.
Hi, guys. I'm Stevie Henning. I am 20 years old, so I don't really know much about board meetings and everything going on here. I'm not very educated, I'm sorry to say. I'm just here to see what's going on in my community. I'm wondering if after this 3-year, or what is being made possible during this 3-year pause, are they just going, are people, are developers, are the higher ups, the governor, are they just going to be able to basically plan this in their 3 years, and when the 3 years is up, start developing almost immediately? Like, I'm fearing that even with this 3-year pause, or I don't even really know what it does, I'm sorry, but with this pause, it's not really a pause, it's just allowing them to get their stuff together so that they are ready in these 3 years to develop. Like, is that
The pause
something
is
that's
so
possible?
we can get our stuff together.
Okay.
The pause is for us to study and see what the impacts are, and then have legislation for or against these type of companies to come into our municipality.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if the state or the federal government acts, they supersede us.
Okay.
So there's nothing we can do about that, but we can act while we have the moratorium. We will study, hire consultants, and look and see what this truly will do to our community. And do we want that? I don't think so.
Right, yes.
But we have to have proper backup, proper experts tell us this, so
Yeah.
we prove our point if we pass legislation.
All right. Thank you so much,
Sure,
and I
thank you.
appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate everybody coming out too as well.
Thank you. Bryce Volnick from Poughkeepsie.
Hello. I will lead with one question that I will ask you to refrain from answering until I explain everything weighing into your response. How is this AI data center benefiting the citizens of East Fishkill and the Hudson Valley in any way? And how does it not go against every single goal listed in the comprehensive plan for this town? The main argument I've heard is it's going to generate tax revenue. But is this really true? When we look at the opportunity cost, the picture becomes a lot more clear. Firstly, data centers only pay corporate income tax if they generate revenue. Hyperscale data centers owned by large companies don't generate direct operating income, they just house servers, period. Therefore, if the goal is to generate taxes, why not build another type of facility, like a pickle factory, a distillery, or another high income tax revenue source like a cannabis indoor grow house? This would generate a lot more revenue and would bring in jobs and young people, which is a goal in the comprehensive plan. Additionally, if the goal of Treehouse Development was to create wealth for our town, why aren't they using a cooling system instead of our fresh water? Why aren't they using a turbine, steam power, or solar system instead of our power? Instead, they're straining our resources because it's the cheap option. They're footing our town the cost of the center and running off with the resources, destroying the wildlife, and the damage to the environment goes directly against Comprehensive Plan 29.1 through .5. Overall, this goes against several goals listed in the comprehensive plan. But this meeting isn't about canceling the data center, my wish. It's about delaying it, which I would recommend at least 3 years so they can figure out how to cool their servers with their own fresh water, run without our power, and additionally, until further studies are done, which are currently being done, that are showing birth defects in people and animals in the areas around the centers. In conclusion, the building of this town goes against several, if not all, goals listed in the comprehensive plan, which should be the most important thing to stick to when making these decisions and running this town. This company is running off with our resources and taking them to Jersey and not bringing us anything in return, but actively subtracting from the quality of the township. This plan is short-sighted, the developer is ill-intentioned, so stick to your word and your oath in the comprehensive plan and consider not building this. I know that plenty of citizens in this town will not let this build go silently.
Thank you, sir. Mike Shady, Fishkill. Mike Shady.
Good evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to comment tonight. It's great to be back here. So I've been working for 25 years to protect New York communities for environmental health hazards. This is not the first time that I've been here. I've worked with folks in Hopewell Junction going back to 2004, working with residents whose drinking water was contaminated with TCE, cancer-causing chemical. I was here then, and I'm here now. Now, I want to recognize that we know that no formal proposal for a massive data center has been submitted to the town. At the same time, the fact that a project of this scale is being evaluated by the New York ISO raises serious questions and concerns. I want to thank the town supervisor and the town board for listening to residents and considering a 3-year moratorium tonight. And I think that given the scale of this facility being evaluated and the questions that it raises, this is a prudent and a responsible step. According to reporting from the Times-Union, the data center that is being evaluated could require as much electricity as 800,000 homes. To put that into perspective, that would require more than 6 times the electricity of every single homeowner in Dutchess County writ large. If we look at East Fishkill alone, that is 80 times the number of energy used by homes here at East Fishkill for just one facility. And that's simply staggering. No community should be expected to absorb that kind of demand without asking very tough questions first. And that's why this moratorium is critical. When one project requires more than 6 times the electricity needed to power every home in Dutchess County, we're not talking about neighborhood development anymore. We're talking about a massive industrial scale facility operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with impacts that could extend far beyond East Fishkill, which is why myself and other folks in the region are here. At a time when families are struggling to pay their utility bills, residents should not be asked to shoulder the costs of infrastructure upgrades that are needed to serve some of the largest and wealthiest corporations in the world. I will close. Responsible growth means planning for the future, not gambling with it. Certainly, we should welcome economic development, but development should strengthen our community, not strain infrastructure or diminish quality of life. In closing, I want to thank you for holding this hearing, and I want to strongly encourage you to adopt this moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha Thangla. Samantha Thangla Poughkeepsie.
So it's Shanta Tangaya.
I'm sorry.
Good evening, everyone, board, fellow community. Again, one more time, Shanta Tangaya. I'm a town of Poughkeepsie councilman. The reason I'm here is East Fishkill used to be my home. As well, I run a business here last 20 years, and my biggest customer lives here, so practically I live here as well. When it comes to data center, it consumes a great deal of power and electricity that everybody talked about. IBM complex, today it's called Onsemi. Poughkeepsie provides water for them, 1 million gallons every day.
2 million.
2 million, correction. So we don't have that capacity to build a data center here that, I'm preaching the choir, but the people who is listening. So we know if there's a data center, you need to dig up wells and contaminate the water. We know. We don't have the power, then they need to have generators. We know this is all. But I'm confident, I'm first of all thankful that you took this moratorium. But I'm here to talk about the moratorium is not a solution. Moratorium is a temporary moratorium for you to come up with a local law. So in my town, that's what I did. I proposed a drafted temporary moratorium and sent to the attorney. And this is give us time to develop a local law and enact. My job or your job depends on the people. If they don't back us up, we don't have the job. Today you can see they are with you. It's my concern is, when you have a longer period of a moratorium, you can be challenged with the property rights. I totally agree with that. That's what our concern, but it's not, you don't have the political will, but how do you get challenged by the laws, right? So my concern and request is hopefully you will develop a local law. You have the people's support. You have all the reasons. You have the good reasons to develop a local law and enact it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ann Lagoy, Fishkill. Ann Lagoy.
Finally, huh?
Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
I have been a neighbor to East Fishkill for 30 years. I have lived in Fishkill, and I fully support and thank you for, first of all, having the public hearing, introducing the moratorium. I hope you unanimously pass it. I want to thank you, Ms. Flores, for answering my question before I even had to ask it, which was, how are you going to conduct yourselves in the 3-year moratorium? And it sounds like, between what the attorney, thank you for your presentation, you have that sort of mapped out. So I do hope that that is the case. I do have one other question, though. It is my understanding that there was a project in front of the planning board for a nearly 800,000 square foot warehouse. There is a current moratorium that is up at the end of next week. Is that what the 7-month moratorium is?
That's
So
correct.
you've extended that. So I can go home. My questions are answered, but I do hope that you unanimously pass this. Clearly, you know, we all are in agreement. Thank you.
ma'am. Dave Siegel LaGrange. Dave Siegel LaGrange.
I think he's gone home, actually.
Okay. Appy Castano.
Good evening.
You're a Hopewell Junction resident.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
A growing body of reporting shows a significant negative environmental community impact caused by data centers that rarely make headlines. Recent investigations are beginning to document what is happening out of the public view. Data centers have a potential to cause irreparable damage to our community. Data centers draw a tremendous amount of water for cooling, reducing the amount of available for the community while raising utility costs. They are shown to use and release contaminants that can permanently pollute our aquifers, our beautiful lakes and streams. They use tremendous amount of electricity, mostly using fossil fuels because there is not the infrastructure to support their power needs sustainably. This pollutes our air and environment and is a tremendous health risk. There is concern about noise also, land use changes, and making our water undrinkable. The prospect of unforeseen negative detrimental impacts to the environment, health, property values, loss of land, water use, and dangers that may not have effects that may not be apparent for decades to come. This reminds me very much as a young man, there was a lot of, smoking was very common because we were told by the tobacco companies that it was safe, yet they knew that it wasn't. And only later, many decades later, they realized the health problems concerning smoking. And also, I propose that the data centers are already obsolete. There's evidence, there's research that shows that we in the near future, will be able to incorporate data, store data using DNA, using technologies such as molecular and also atomically in such technologies as entanglement. So therefore, I propose at least a 10-year moratorium, if not longer, to protect our citizens, or as long as you can. I ask this body. The promise of jobs and economic growth do not outweigh the trade-off to our health, environment, and long-term impacts. Let's keep Fishkill and the beautiful Hudson Valley safe and clean. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Steve Caswell.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Caswell. I'm your county legislator right here in East Fishkill, and this proposed or this thought of project is right in my district. So obviously, I am very concerned. I've been talking to you guys. I've been following this issue, And I agree with many of the comments that are made tonight, and 100% support the moratorium that you're considering here tonight. It gives us the time to understand and assess the real impacts. I mean, there's many potential impacts. I mean, I won't repeat them. They've all been talked about tonight, whether it's environmental, water, capacity, and things like that. But East Fishkill continues to grow, which is a good thing, but it has to be good growth, right? And smart growth that benefits the town and doesn't cost the residents. So data centers need to be located somewhere. They're coming, okay? But we need to make sure that they're put in the right place, not necessarily a highly densely populated area like East Fishkill. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any comments from the town board members?
Sure.
Yes.
Well, first of all, everybody, honestly, thank you very much for coming out tonight. I think it was absolutely tremendous seeing everybody here. And we definitely caught your passion, without a doubt. One thing I know we heard tonight, everybody wanted to extend the moratorium. I thought the town attorney did a great job explaining why we had to do it for 3 years, or we're going to do it for 3 years. And understand that it is a process. And please understand that we live here too. We have to keep reminding people that. And we've talked about smart growth before, and we're going to continue to talk about it. Councilwoman Flores' idea of a task force, I think, is great. I look forward to working with her, rest of the board, our professionals, and all of you in the community, because your voices are going to be heard, and we're going to want to hear them. And I just want to finish one other thing. I know everybody loves social media, which, by the way, you're going through a data center. I urge everybody, I plead with everybody, please call us. If you have an issue, call us. I will come to your home. These people all here, we're very approachable. We want to hear your voice. We don't need to see it on social media because we can't follow social media every time. All day is tough. Some things are just way out of control. Call us. We will pick up the phone. If we don't, we'll call you right back. If we don't have the answer for you right there, we'll get you an answer. But please, we encourage, call us. This is what we're here for. Again, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yeah, so part of this process, this pause, we're big on making sure we're making the right decisions for the community, right? So we do our own homework, we get our own education. About 2 years ago, another technology wanted to come into town, and we started talking about it. At every board meeting, we talked about battery energy storage facilities, what they were about, what the risks were. All of us got education on it as well, and we educated the community. We want to do the same thing with the data centers, right? During this pause, we want to make sure everybody understands how they're built, how they operate, and if we need to extend the moratorium or actually pass an ordinance, a law that says no more data centers of this size, then that's what we do for the community. But we have a process that we have to go through, and I know some of you are impatient with that process. That's okay, but we still have to go through that process. So please be patient with us. Please don't bash us on social media. It doesn't help matters. We have families as well that look at social media, and we're slandered just about every week, and it's very frustrating. But we come back here every day. We work hard for all the 30,000 residents of this community, and we'll continue doing that until we're not in office anymore. So I want to ask for everybody's patience while we go through this process.
Thank you, Councilman.
So what we see over here tonight is a great exercise of our community should work. And I want to thank each and every one of the people and all the people in this room who participate in their local government, to address the issues that interest everybody. My question to some of you or all of you tonight is, where were you where the solar panel issues were we brought up in all our community? Many times, stuff is pushed down our throat, just like data centers, and we accept it
as something that could be useful for us. Right now, we're being deprived of affordable energy. I've been fighting this issue at the local level. It's very important for you to participate and continue the fight, because unless we have the energy to supply whatever future project could come in our community, whether they're welcomed or not, we will analyze them, but we do need the community help. Your community help to exercise the power to make sure that certain things don't happen that are very detrimental to our community. This year, specifically in this community, in the town of East Fishkill, I've assisted about 10 families who lost their electric power because of the high electric bills. When I reached out to them and see if I could do anything to help them, they didn't need any help. They just were honest citizens, working people, that they wanted to pay their bills and live in a community that they love. We, I think tonight, know that this is your community, this is our community, and we want to keep it just the way some other people passed it on to us. So I could assure you that we will do our due diligence through the process. But like the other council and the town supervisor said, there is a process in play. I personally am not in favor of these projects because there is no infrastructure that supports this type of operation in our community. So I could assure you tonight that this project does not have my support.
I want to thank all the residents that came out and those that are at home watching on TV. I wish we had this kind of participation at all of our board meetings, but I appreciate this. Clearly, it's a passionate issue. There's a nationwide debate taking place on this subject. And I do want to note that during my corporate career, before I got into town government, I had the opportunity to visit and work with data centers all across the globe. Part of my role was going in, reviewing them, ensuring they were adhering to standards, safety requirements, et cetera, operational requirements. So I'm familiar with data centers. However, the size and scale of data centers today have grown exponentially. What we're talking about now is 5 times more than what I used to see. But at the same time, the technologies and the controls and efficiencies that are in place are changing as we speak. And I think it's important that we understand the engineering solutions, what are the risks, what are the solutions, if any, and makes conscious decisions. I believe in process. Throughout my business career, I focused on weighing pros and cons, risk mitigations, to make the right decisions based on facts, based on things that we could support. The key is to have a robust process. Data centers are not a one-size-fits-all. They are not right in all locations, but they can be extremely beneficial in others, and the importance is to know the difference and understand the differences. A moratorium should not be viewed as a mechanism to stop development permanently or to prejudge any future proposal. We need to understand the specifics, so we should take this moratorium, as I said, to put in place a task force composed of town planning and zoning representatives, utility experts, and environmental professionals, engineers, local business leaders, and residents, most importantly, a transparent process. Its mission should be to answer questions such as whether our existing infrastructure can support the facility, what environmental and quality of life issues need to be addressed, what zoning, setback, landscaping, noise standards should be required, as I mentioned, the fiscal impacts, and are there areas within the town where the facilities may be appropriate and clearly areas where they are not. The community benefits should also be considered if such a development were ever to be considered. And at the end of the process, I believe this town board would be in a stronger position to determine what requirements any future data center developer must meet before receiving approval in East Fishkill. So the question then becomes, what conditions make this project acceptable in East Fishkill, rather than should all data centers be banned regardless of their design, location, or impacts? Prior to coming here tonight, I was going to propose a 1-year to 18-month moratorium. Clearly, we listened to our residents. You have spoken loudly. I will support a 3-year moratorium with the requirement that the task force complete its work and report its findings within 18 months, or at the conclusion if there's a state moratorium. At that point, the town board would have the opportunity to review the recommendations and determine whether continuation of the moratorium remains necessary. This is a fast-changing industry and engineering and technology. Heck, they're talking about putting data centers in space. So there's a lot we need to learn.
Yeah.
Don't bet against Elon. I do not believe East Fishkill benefits from making permanent decisions before we have completed the necessary analysis, nor do I believe we should rush to judgment on an issue with long-term implications for our community. East Fishkill has a long history of technology, innovation, and advanced industry. Our responsibility is to not react based on fear or promises, but to gather the facts. Listen to our residents, understand the opportunities and risks, and make informed decisions that protect the interest of our community. And the residents, all of you of East Fishkill, deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So,
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing now closed. Do I have a motion to adopt the local law, 7 months on industrial properties moratorium and a 3-year moratorium on data centers?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you. Okay. We do have,
Kaiser?
yes, I will have your resolution for the task force as a addition to, at the end.
Okay. Oh, thank you, yeah. I wrote like a whole thing, but then they said 2 minutes, so
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, we do have a receipt and file. Excuse me, folks, excuse me, I'm continuing our meeting. I have to vote on.
Excuse me, we have another hour left in our meeting.
Excuse me. Excuse me, folks. Thank you. I got to continue the meeting. We do have receipt and file, acknowledgement for Arbor Day. Clerk, you have posted that on the website, correct?
Yes.
Arbor Day for 2026, we're celebrating 1872 in Nebraska. Community partners, families, friends are all joined together for our local Arbor Day ceremonies to recognize the benefits of the trees in urban forests. Trees will be planted in, excuse me, ma'am? Thank you. We have to continue our meeting, I'm sorry. Trees improve water quality and quantity, reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil, increasing property values and economic vitality in business areas. Therefore, be it resolved, the town of East Fishkill acknowledge and celebrate Arbor Day each and every year in East Fishkill and encourage our citizens to plant trees, thus leaving a legacy for present and future generations. That is our receipt and file with our clerk. Resolutions, we will continue with number 3, Councilman Franco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town supervisor to award bids with various companies to provide trade services for the oversight, operation, and maintenance of town facilities.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So every few years we do this. We look for different trades, HVAC, General Electric, plumbing suppliers. So we have a bid for each of them so we can utilize whenever projects come up. We have a list of our lowest bidders. Any comments from the town engineer? No?
No, the supervisor says from time to time we have little small projects, repairs, maintenance that we need to do, and this helps facilitate speedy repairs.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 4, Councilman Marinaro.
Mr. Supervisor, we authorize the town board to conduct a public hearing on July 23rd, 2026, during the regular monthly meeting to consider Community Character Preservation Act, local law which would fund preserving open space.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So we've been discussing this for a while now. We are proposing a Community Character Preservation Act where the voters will vote in November on the ballot to whether or not the town should borrow up to $20 million to buy up farms and other vacant properties in town so they will remain green forever or remain a farm forever. So we will have our public hearing next month. Next month. And then we can take all comments and questions then. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 6, number 5, right? Councilman Arco?
Mr. Supervisor, I move we declare lead agency and adopt the negative declaration for the Hopewell Railroad Water Improvement Area.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Engineer? You have
It's
any
basically a
comments?
first step in our efforts to form the water district. Everything's really predicated upon getting that grant, to keep the rates affordable, but, it's a process we have to go through to get to that point to make that application. So.
Right, so we are applying for several grants for a new water district, which will be located, which we're calling the Railroad Water District, and that is in the Old Hopewell section of town where the Depot Park is. In that section of town, we have many problems with water, point wells, contamination as well. We are looking for grants, and the first step is for us to form the district, and then we would apply for grants, but we would only move forward if we are awarded the grant, because it is very, very cost prohibitive without it. So this is our first step, and I hope we'll be successful. Any other comments or questions?
I'm going to abstain for voting on this.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One abstention, clerk? Approved, thank you. Number 6, Councilwoman Flores.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town board to conduct a public hearing on July 23rd, 2026, during the regular monthly meeting to consider the formation of the Hopewell Railroad Improvement Area.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
So this is for us to actually hold the public hearing for that water district I spoke about last resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to abstain on this one also.
One abstention, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Number 7, Councilman Franco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we award the Four Corners WWTP AC repairs bid to Black Electric for $33,630 for the installation of AC for the pump and blower room.
Thank you. Councilman, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So this has been a problem, engineer? Four Corners Water District?
Yeah, it's a long-term solution to try to lower expenses. The blower room generates a lot of heat in the summertime. It leads to premature failure of those blower motors. So the thought is, by putting air conditioning in, we can prolong the life of those motors, which are very expensive. So.
At the plant. Yeah. Okay, thank you, engineer. Any comments for the engineer or questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 8, Councilman Marinaro.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town engineer to prepare a map, plan, and report for the formation of a special district to be known as the Swarthout Sanitary Sewer District.
Yes, Swarthout Sanitary, yes. Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So we do have a Swarthout. There is only one user. We have a water district currently. It provides for the senior community on Route 82. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Right, correct?
Right.
Thank you. And this now, we would form a district just for them as well. So whatever costs that would occur for them, they are responsible for. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion Motion carried, thank you. Number 9, Councilman Arco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town staff to prepare a consolidated funding application to apply for the Smart Growth Community Planning Grant Program in an amount not to exceed $250,000 with a required 10% local match for a project known as East Fishkill Community-Wide Zoning Regulations Update.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So as most people know, we had a redo of our master plan. We adopted it last October, thank you. And which was a long process, very costly process for us to redo a master plan. Cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for every community to do this. Now we are in the implementation stage of our master plan, which means we have already formed an implementation committee made up of residents and professionals. And now we are looking to review our zoning code, which is very costly as well. We have to hire consultants to review that, so we are going for a grant for that for $250,000, and I am very hopeful that we get it because it's very expensive. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 10, Councilperson Flores.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town staff to prepare and submit a WIA grant funding application for the Hopewell Railroad Water Improvement Area.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Engineer, this is the second part of
Under the third step, yeah.
a third step.
Yeah.
For the formation of the, I'm sorry, for the wastewater treatment plant
The
grant.
grant we previously talked about.
Right. Any questions or comments for the engineer?
Is this for the one across the street?
Yes, sir. We need a very substantial upgrade to that plant.
Well, now that's 11, not to be confused with 10.
No, that's right. This is for the railroad water improvement area.
Okay.
This is for grant funding. So I mentioned earlier that we are forming a new district called the Railroad Water District. And this will allow us to apply for a WIA grant in the amount of $6.75 million. That's the cost of the proposed project. And these are all the steps we need necessary to apply for that grant. We have to have a resolution passed. Any comments or questions?
The maximum amount would be $3 million that we can receive.
That's correct.
I will abstain from voting on this.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One abstention, Madam Clerk? Approved, thank you. Number 11, Councilman Franco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the town staff to prepare and submit a WIA grant funding application for the Hopewell Hammett wastewater treatment plant.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
So across the street is our wastewater treatment plant. We are looking for upgrades, and we're looking to apply for a grant to help pay for those upgrades. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 12, Councilman Marinaro.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the appointing Danielle Zanfardino and Caitlin Mendelli as full-time typists in accordance with the CSEA union contract.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? We have interviewed them with our HR department. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 13, Councilman Arco.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize a change order with WSP USA for an amount not to exceed $109,000 for the design of well number 5 connection.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So across the street is our Cannon well field. Will the engineer give us a brief overview, very brief, about the history of well number 5?
Well, we'll start out with well number, I believe it was 2, that had a reduction in its yield by about 50%. We then moved on to well 5 was previously drilled, and about 6-7 years ago was decided not to use that well. We had better wells at the time. When we lost our yield in well 2, we revisited well 5 because the well had already been drilled. We finalized all the pump tests. We have strong yield, fantastic yield, actually, but there is a turbidity problem in the well, so we're having to design a filtration system to address that. And then along with that would be the actual connection into our system. So the outcome will be almost a double of our capacity from across the street when we're done.
Excellent. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 14, Councilwoman Flores.
Mr. Supervisor, I move we authorize the hiring of Derek Schukel as a seasonal laborer in the Water and Sewer Department.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seasonal laborers, I say this all the time. We need seasonal laborers in any department. If you have kids home not working, please come apply. We need seasonal help. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And we do have a few from the floor. Resolution 1, resolution to establish a data center study task force during the data center moratorium. The town has adopted a 3-year moratorium on data centers, and now we're going to move on to the next step, which will be to form a task force during this time to review all the different aspects of the industry. Would Councilwoman Flores like to
I think we've
express
spoken enough
anything?
about it.
I think so, too.
But I think it's clearly an important step in fully understanding the issue and the impacts.
Agree. Do I have a motion to
So
adopt
moved.
the task force? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adopted, thank you. Number 2, appoint a permanent part-time typist. We have a need for a permanent part-time clerical support. Denise Halvesy is currently a part-time temporary typist and is recommended to be hired as a permanent part-time typist. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Next one, the town has identified a need for additional clerical support in multiple departments. Nancy Farizna has been interviewed, recommended by the town board as a full-time typist. Town board does hereby authorize Nancy Farizna as a full-time typist, subject to all applicable civil service requirements and compensation and benefits for the above-named individual in accordance with our current CSEA contract. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And the 4th is an adoption for Patricia Lynch Associates to help the town board for services for $5,000 a month for 3 months, and she will be an expert for our traffic mitigation plan in the Hopewell Hamlets. We have been discussing this for a long while now. As everybody knows, we have our bridge on Route 82 that is slated to be removed. The New York State Department of Transportation has come to us and that they want to remove that and put an at-grade crossing. At that juncture, the town board has conducted some studies and see where we can improve our traffic in the hamlet, and we have identified to put a roundabout at that location and to relocate Route 376 where the railroad tracks are. I have said this in many different meetings, and we have presentations about it. Patricia Lynch Associates would be a consultant for the town board and our engineering department. Is there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. We have no budget transfers. Comments? Oh, Highway Superintendent, you stuck around.
I'm here.
Ah, you're a good man.
All right, everybody.
What do you got for us?
I'd like to provide an update, recent ongoing work completed by the Highway Department and my recreation staff. We have completed catch basin and pipe repairs at multiple locations throughout the town, including Woodcliff Drive, Camden Court, Woodcrest Drive, Stormville Road, Eastwood Cross Road, Thistle Drive, James Dorland Drive, Genome Court, and Sebastian Court. Repairs are part of continued effort to maintain proper drainage and roadway infrastructures.
Okay, good.
We constantly are battling with the older developments where the metal pipe are constantly running out. We're trying to keep up with this.
And what do you put in its place?
Plastic. so that we won't have to come back another, but unless, Jet Vector work, many locations, especially in our watershed areas. I wanted to say that Worley Homes has been waiting a long time for our paving, and we are going to be starting that process after the 4th of July weekend. In addition, we've been doing quite a bit of tree work all around town, many various locations, safety concerns with line of sight. Our roadside mower has been out all over, trying to keep all of our line of sights open, stop signs, areas like that. Radall's been out in many locations, Old Sylvan Lake Road, Stormville Road. Pretty much it for what's going on at Highway, but I would like to say that my deputy and my recreation foreman have worked tirelessly on the irrigation system at McGrath Field, which is now fully operational. That's pretty much it for me for tonight. I'd just like to thank my hall staff. Everybody works hard. We have a great team. All my recreation workers, all my highway workers, my mechanics, my secretaries. I can't thank them enough. It takes a big team to run this town, and very proud of what we do.
So after the 4th of July, you're going to do Worley Homes?
Worley Homes starts. I have the big information sign up.
There should be a ribbon cutting for those people. And they've waited forever.
They've waited a long
The
time.
town engineer and myself have worked with our subcontractors, and we're ready to go.
Good.
Excellent.
Glad to hear that.
Thank you, Highway Sue.
Thank you, guys.
Police Chief, how are you?
I'm good. I'll just make it quick. Really appreciate the 2 hires, and to make it clear, they are replacements for 2 of our past retirements with Lieutenant Knapp and Detective Dowdy. And thank you very much for the board approval.
Thank you, Chief. Councilman Arco.
How are you?
Oh, you know.
My apologies for missing last month's meeting. Past 2 months have been very busy with police interviews and other department-related matters. Tonight, we once again hired some outstanding candidates. During the interview process, we always, look for individuals who have the potential to become future leaders within the department. In a few years, as these new police officers begin testing for promotions, we expect to have some very difficult decisions to make in selecting the best candidates. That's a great problem to have in our community. Thank you, Chief, for your leadership and for presenting such exceptional candidates. I've been working with our building department on implementing schedule changes aimed at improving efficiency by reducing interruptions. These changes should help expedite the application process. I'll provide everyone with an update after we've had about a month to evaluate the results. As the supervisor said earlier, I met with supervisor, our grant writer, and an outside vendor on this outdoor equipment. We're exploring ways to connect the equipment with our Veteran Memorial Park as a tribute to our veterans and their commitment to fitness and service. One concept includes multiple fitness stations throughout the park that replicate elements of military basic training, such as pull-ups, sit-ups, ladder bars, and so on and so forth. The proposal we reviewed featured a 7-station workout platform, along with a padded open area designed for outdoor fitness classes, such as Zumba, yoga, and similar activities. I think Supervisor actually mentioned working out with a police officer, so.
Yeah, it was a contest, correct?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I'll train them.
I'm not going to comment on that one. We have additional meetings scheduled to discuss equipment options and available grant opportunities. I want to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July, and that concludes my update.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Marinaro.
Just basically, I want to say that I'm kind of pleased that there was an application that was not put forward regarding the battery storage. I know there was a lot of apprehension from many people in the community, including our volunteer fire department. This was something that we were not ready for. The community reached out with many comments regarding these projects. So as of right now, we have no such project moving forward in the community, which is good. But again, I want to reiterate that we still need to find a source of reliable, cheap energy for the community in the Hudson Valley.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Franco.
Quickly, reminder, summer concerts on Friday evenings at Hopewell Rec, always weather permitting. Concerts are free and they start at 7 o'clock. We also have food trucks attending each of the concerts. Each week we will advertise which band and food trucks will be at the Hopewell Rec. For our 4th of July concert weekend, Friday, July 3rd, we have the band Everything Else, Hopewell Rec from 7 to 9 p.m. There will be no fireworks on 4th of July weekend. Sunday, July 5th, the band Red Wing, the band at Red Wing will be Bob Martinson Band. On Saturday, July 11th, as the supervisor, I believe, mentioned earlier, the East Fishkill Celebration of America 250 at Hopewell Rec, starting at 12 p.m., ending at 9 p.m. There we will have our fireworks display. We will have a colonial village that you could visit from 12 to 6, and during that visit, stop and see Ben Franklin himself and build a kite with him. We'll also have Thomas Jefferson reading the Declaration of Independence and a little Q&A afterwards. Follow East Fishkill Rec on Facebook for upcoming information on this event. And our summer camp begins Monday, June 29th. This year, we will have 330 campers.
Wow.
Wow.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you. Councilperson Flores?
I will keep it brief because I know everyone's tired and wants to go home. So I will just say, have a happy 4th of July. Celebrate what's great in our country as we celebrate our 250th birthday. And clearly, what took place here tonight represents what makes our country great, the ability to speak your mind and be heard. So happy 4th of July, everyone.
Thank you, Councilperson. So tomorrow night is our John Jay High School graduation. Congratulations to all the graduates. Best of luck in the future to each and every one of you. 4th of July, obviously, is coming. Happy and healthy 4th to you and your families. And like Councilman Franco said, July 11th will be our big America 250 celebration. So please, if you could come out, it'll be a wonderful, wonderful day, the entire day and evening. So. And thank you all for coming out. I know it was a long night. I appreciate all my staff, the council, the town board, other elected officials. Thank you. This is our job. That's why we're here, to make sure that we do the business correctly for our community. So thank you all. Our next town board meeting will be July 23rd. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
They pulled in just behind the bridge. He lays her down. He frowns. Gee, my life's a funny thing. Am I still too young? He kissed her then and there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows he'd have taken anything. All night. She was a young American. The young American, standing right through the picture window, she finds a slinky vagabond. He coughs as he passes a Ford Mustang. Heaven forbid she take anything but the freak and his title for nothing. This is a step and cuts his hand, showing nothing. It swoops like a song. She cries, where have all Papa's heroes gone? All night. She wants a young American. She wants the young America, all the way from Washington. Her breadwinner begs off the bathroom floor. We live for just these 20 years. Do we have to die for the 50 more? And all right, he wants the young America. Young America, just a young America. He wants the young America. All right, but he wants the young America. make me